And the last thing we want to talk about today, again, we're going to try to keep these a little quicker. Instagram, social media. You're on it. You have a good page. I thought you did well. The one thing I told you was to get it up and running prior to getting your license.
Yep.
And don't put realtor, because you weren't, but you were an aspiring realtor.
Yep.
And shout out to Hannah, who's done the exact same thing. And slowly start building up your following, so day one you can hit the ground running, and it's not like, oh, who's this Ellie girl? Oh, instead I've seen Ellie for 4 months while she's been in the process of getting her license.
Yep.
So what's your thoughts on Instagram as a platform and as a platform for real estate?
As a platform for business, I'll start with that. I think Instagram is underutilized by a lot of people, and I think it's becoming more recognized as something that you can use for a business. I know that it is, I think, the most utilized social media now of all of the apps. And you can use it. I mean, there's a lot of builders who have it. There's teachers and writers and artists, and it really doesn't matter what you're selling. You can use Instagram to kind of showcase your skills, your abilities, or even your personality. If you have a sales type job where your personality is important. On personal stuff, I'm not a huge fan of social media. I think that it can be damaging if someone's excessively using it. I just personally know people who are addicted to it, I guess. Mm-hmm. But as far as business aspects go, it was the first thing that came to my mind of what I could do to market myself before I get out, or even now when I'm very new and I don't have much of a network or a lot of connections in the real estate area. And it's something I've always found social media marketing extremely fascinating. It's what I focused on when I was in school amongst, 7 other majors, but that was what I ended up with. And that's what my final internship was in. And I think that you have a huge, I think Gary Vee actually said something about this, but it really levels the playing field. If someone doesn't necessarily have an opportunity to get out and network themselves in ways that they otherwise could. And I mean, there's people that I follow on my Instagram that I found, like entrepreneurs who are disabled or dealing with stuff that makes it so they can't necessarily hold a traditional type job, and they're still managing to be very successful just through the internet, which I think is phenomenal. And I like that is available. Yeah. Yeah.
I think to me, it's my most utilized platform that I use, that with Facebook and YouTube. But I think the one, I like how I can intertwine them all.
Yeah.
That I can sync them up with each other. I can use them on different platforms. The other good thing about Instagram, which I find is cool, which we've tried to do, is I try to leverage your stuff the best I can. I have a slightly bigger following, and I really mean this slightly, but you're probably going to pass me at some point.
Maybe. We'll see.
I just find that for some reason, Hannah too. Hannah laughs at me when I talk about my followers versus hers. So, but the way I look at it is, it's a good way where we can cross promote each other.
Yeah.
I do it a lot with Matt Craig. Obviously a friend of the of Realty Talk, and we do a lot of leveraging each other in different platforms. Where you share my stuff, I share your stuff. Now we open it up to a broader audience, and I find that the cool thing about Instagram, which I think is very underutilized in our market. So I really find that we're forefront what's that word called? We're forward thinking on that platform.
I think on the forefront is the
that
right
sounds
term.
right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I look around, I follow a lot of local agents. A lot of them do have Instagram accounts. I don't think a lot of them utilize it as well as they should. I don't want to beat my own drum, but I think I do a good job of it, and I think it's been a very big help for me. I've seen a few other agents get on, and they're starting to kind of post what I think of too, which I believe is kind of the right stuff that I think they're posting. There's some that I think are just posting garbage, but just stuff that's not really going to leverage.
Not relevant.
It's not relevant. It's not something that would really grab attention of people. But I think having an Instagram is better than no Instagram. Mm-hmm. But I really think you gotta one is stay consistent, meaning you have to post regularly. The worst thing is you post and then you post a week later, then you post 3 weeks later, and then you post a month later, and then you forget to post for 5 months, and you come back and I really try to post multiple times a day if possible. I also try to utilize my stories as much as possible. I try to make my pictures on my page have a theme, somewhat of a theme. I try to we talked about it, like editing and filtering photos to make it look a lot of consistency.
Yeah.
I try to post a lot of different things within my business, but it's all business related. I personally don't post anything about my family on there just because I do want to separate the two.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to do that. I just being in the real estate business and being kind of in a public business, I just prefer to do that. I don't really need the other thing is I don't need my kid to get likes. I think that's kind of
I agree.
Like I can post my kid's super cute, but again, I don't think that I'm really like selling what I do or helping people out by posting a picture of my kid. Besides, like I said, he's a cute kid. But I think you do a good job on it. I think you post some stuff. We talked right before this. You wanted to be more consistent.
Yeah, more active.
Yep, and I think, then I, of course, as soon as she said that, I'm like, okay, this is what you got to do. Ding, 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 ding. And I did a post, and I showed her exactly what to do, and I just said, you gotta have just in your mind, you got to be thinking how to produce content.
Yep.
And then you have to execute it, meaning consistency.
Yep.
But you have to do it multiple times a day.
Yep.
And you have to look for the opportunities. Like right before we got on the podcast, what did I do? I took a picture of you behind the mic, which I do at every Realty Talk because that's, I guess, turning into the theme of it, or just I post a picture with Ellie behind the mic saying the new episode's coming out soon. But that's something I just take a photo to do it. Yesterday's podcast, I forgot to do that, but then I ended up pulling the sign down. I took a picture of the sign, which actually looked really cool, and I posted and I posted that. So I mean, I'm always like trying to be creative and find ways to post. I'm one that believe quality matters, but so doesn't quantity. Meaning you have to post consistently.
Yeah.
Where I could have just been like, I don't have anything, I'm not going to post. Or I'm like, well, I'm going to find an opportunity. Let me post that.
Yeah.
Let me just post a picture of a mic. Let me post whatever.
Yeah.
And I just try to it's kind of like making your own luck. Like I make my own content for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would you believe all that's true?
I do. I think one of my biggest fallbacks is the quality thing. I am very particular.
You overthink it.
I do. I'm very particular about the way, and I'll tell you the first like probably 3 to 6 pictures that I posted on my Instagram. I won't tell you how long it took me to edit them because I was like, it has to look perfect. The lighting has to be exactly this way. And then I was like, fuck that takes way too long. And I very quickly stopped doing that. But I want everything to look very cohesive when you first click on the page. And if it doesn't, it bothers me very greatly, and I'm trying very hard to get past that.
my thing I tell Ellie and others, speed over perfection.
Yep.
Meaning, how long did it take when I was like, Ellie, you gotta do posts? I'm like, wait, watch this post. I had it up
seconds.
in about 2 minutes total.
Yeah.
Like upload, wrote all the text, posted it. I'm like, don't overthink it because I find that quality is subjective. Meaning, if somebody everybody's got a different viewpoint if it's good or bad, and I really don't care because if I overthink it, all of a sudden somebody could look at it and be like, oh man, that was a really cool post. I'm going to like it. Yeah. I don't care. Guess what? You're seeing it. You're seeing that I'm posting it. You're seeing that I'm active. I don't really care if it's too dark or the shadows. I'm not trained at all. I'm the opposite of that. I really just kind of learn as I go and trial and error. But I think you're better off just posting something and it flopping versus not posting something and never having the chance to actually, you're better off having 1,000 posts. I'll say 1,000. That's a lot. Say 100 posts and
per day,
50 of them flop per day. So say you do 100 posts, 50 are terrible, 50 are really good. Well, you made 50 really good. That's how I look at it. Yeah. Where if you made one and you did really well. Well, you did one. Yeah. That was good. Granted, you had no bad ones, but you also lost out on 49 really good ones, and nobody remembers the bad ones. It's kind of like when you think about your sports career. Do you look back and say, I remember a lot? No, you remember your good seasons. I don't remember my crappy. I mean, I remember them, but they're so washed away from my memory that I only really focus on the good stuff. It's kind of like in our business. You focus on the positive, more positive happens. If you dwell on the negative, the house fell apart because of home inspection. Okay, guess what? Keep moving on. I got other stuff to take care of. It is what it is. It happens. We're just going to keep plugging through. So
that's what they say. The most successful people fail more than anyone else. They just don't care if they fail. Yeah.
My success rate in a day is probably 2%. But that's fine.
Look at that.
But then I look at it.
Other people.
I succeeded 2%. So that's more than 0. So that's good.